All right, and all riggedy right. Family, what's going on this morning? I believe we are at, February 6th, Friday. Welcome to the weekend, family, right? TikTok Nation Live, what it do this Friday morning, family, or depending on where you might be, it's still morning. Family, what it do? How y'all doing out there? We hope you are having a powerful and an impactful Friday, the start to your Friday, right? The beginning of the weekend. In many places, it may still be snowing. In some places, the snow might be melting. It is the winter, family. And be careful, be cautious out there, right? We got a little topic on deck that we're going to talk about here on Different View Podcast. Before we do, let's get started in the open. Welcome in us, a Different View family who believe in. We believe this thing. We believe, family. Some people are guessing. Some people are trying to figure out. We believe this thing. Those who believe in, who love after. This is relationship season, right? Gonna be a good one today, family. We ain't gonna keep you long, but it's gonna be a good one today. Those who love after, right? We gotta stop making so many damn divisions, family. Can we be honest with each other? We are more sectioned up than Dewey's library system, right? That old school card filing. We chopped up, man. We chopped up more than when you go to your butcher and you get that good beef, right? Not this stuff that's in the supermarket that's got all kind of mess in it, right? We'll leave it alone, right? Love after each other. We are too divided. We gotta, you ain't this if you ain't that. No. We love after over here, right? Hunger and thirst. Family, we're gonna eat a lot of food this Super Bowl weekend, right? Maybe some not much because they can't understand Spanish. Oh man, you know what? We'll put a pin in that one, right? Hunger and thirst, search and seek to find that which is a different view. Family, welcome in. Today's topic is the word accept, and we're going to go back into the open here just to bring out part of the point of the word accept, and we're going to go on, we're going to speak, and we're going to have a good old day. This is some of the excerpt of a message that we just did a couple days ago that I titled, Tell the Truth. This is an old church thing because your boy is Christian, right? But we are not one of those who is okay not giving to people and putting folks through hoops and who's part of a membership and trying to explain that away, right? You sound like Netflix out here, some of y'all, right? Can't watch this TV unless you got this membership, yeah. No, family. Give and it shall be given. So we not looking for hoops and hops and skips and jumps. No, give, right? But we know Christians do a good dance, man. There's a lot of Louis Vuittons, right? And there are a lot of Christian Dior to wear. Preachers getting mad in the pulpit. Why are you mad? Because you do not accept the truth of a thing. The word accept, family, when you look it up in Oxford's dictionary, you can even look it up in Merriam-Webster, whichever one of the languages that Master give us to use. It will tell you, we're just saying what it is, because when the occupation, when the colonialism, shout out Black History Month one time. When the occupation and the invasion started on these lands, right, before 1619, because the Americas is not just this big ass landmass that we call North America, or that they call North America, excuse me, right? This land, we're just saying what it is, right? America was named after some dude over in Europe who was shouting out Americo Vespucci, right? This is all on the books. One of the next things on top of Massa taking away people in the new Trail of Tears, because that's what it is. And shout out the youth who are okay with this thing, right? They're standing up and protesting, older people standing up and protesting. Family, use your voice. Use your voice. That's what TikTok's all about, ain't it? Use your voice. We're going to share this thing here real quick. Give me 1 sec. I'm going to share this thing here real quick. Give me 1 sec. All right, and we're back. A lot of times y'all thinking why sometimes your boy put up these beach things. Number one, TikTok, you need to come out with more stuff here. Maybe everybody don't want to see everybody's face, right? You don't need to be recognized, and listen to the words. You know, everything is geared off of, you know, how you look, right? Because again, sex sells, right? Appeal sells, but hearing has an appeal to it too. Family, they dumb you down. They dumb you down. If the imagery was taken away, if you was blind, would you still be able to use? We're just saying what it is, family. Could you still get some value out of something if you couldn't see? That's what we're getting at, right? Unfortunately, people gonna have a problem. See, the word accept means to take something to yourself. That's the etymology of the word, right? When you look up in the dictionary, it deals with the fact of something that you believe in, family. Do you know people do not believe in our Latin and Hispanic brothers and sisters? Do you know that today, family? They do not accept them. They do not believe in or love, right? Because again, when you believe in something, family, you know, you talk a certain way. It looks a little different. They don't believe in our black brothers and sisters, or excuse me, that's a distinction that's been given by Massa. So the actual way of saying it would be dark, brown, or tan skin toned people groups. Because again, black and white is a distinction that was made up. This is another thing on the books that you can look up real quick. It's not even hard. You can minimize the live while you're listening to me and just, hey, when was black and white made up his terms? That's all you have to do, family. Again, because you do not believe or accept a thing, you don't bring it to yourself, then you ain't gonna look up this information. How can we be in intercultural marriages or interracial marriages, as the word is used, and you do not accept the person you are married to? See, again, it's good to be in that bedroom because we're in relationship season too. So these things kind of all cross over. I know people like to sectionalize. Again, we are very divided people. And Massa rules and reigns this game through dividing and conquering. So as a result, this is what you got. We're fighting all day long. You got Anton Daniels and Corey Holcomb sitting here fighting all day long. Matter of fact, you don't even need to go on YouTube to see it. You can just look up and down the neighborhoods all day long. Everybody fighting. And while we know families are going to get into a fight, we are a family of humanity. That's why I call us brothers and sisters, right? At the end of the day, family, when do we let that mess go? Again, it's going to be it's Super Bowl season. And while we're going to watch New England, and again, the NFL going to make the money, that's the real winner, right? bunch of Negroes and some so-called white folks and some Hispanic folks even maybe on these teams playing, whoever they got Massa making that money, these owners. That's these corporations making the money off the commercials and stuff. Family, I don't know how to say. You know, when I talk about wrestling a lot, because a lot, you know, I'm a wrestling fan. Family, we don't turtle shell mentally in the mind. And at the end of the day, understand this: it's time to get your own league. They're okay playing around with the caricature of Ricochet. They're okay. Hey, listen, they're okay playing around with the caricature of Chelsea Green. See, WWE, you may want to stop doing these Unreal videos. Or unless you got people mentally in the bag so much, you know, you can just tell them what it is. You can just say what it is, right? Eventually, we're going to get into the words. I've already got into the word rant, but the next one's going to be ramble. Because unfortunately, Massa got people believing that you have to, in order for you to speak or tell the truth on something, that you're either ranting or rambling. Family, both of those words, when you look them up, got nothing to do with speaking idle words that are bumbled and jumbled and no. Unfortunately, because folks don't want to hear the truth of a thing, they put them off in those categories. Nobody is speaking non-babbling words. Or babbling words. That's not what's going on. Or nonsensical stuff. This is just the truth of a thing. And we got to believe it. We got to hold on to it. Right? And family, thank you for for coming in, joining in on this episode, right? If we believe and accept and hold on to each other, right? It's harder for them to break us apart, which is why they got us constantly fighting. I had seen a thing on TikTok, and a young woman was talking about in the Hispanic community, in the Latin community, right? And we know that both of those distinctions, right, are coming from Massa. Latin ain't got nothing to do with Rome. The Dear People groups down in Puerto Rico, right? Or Boricua. Come on, somebody, right? We have a Puerto Rican artist that's going to be headlining the Super Bowl this year, that some have a problem with because they have a problem internally. Ain't got nothing to do. Listen, family, do not. The deceiver. We could go into that. And shout out our Muslim brothers and sisters one time, because it's the only group really who's talking the truth of a thing. Not because your boy is Muslim, but because of the fact that we have enough respect for the other beliefs on the planet to be able to hear the truth behind what these brothers and sisters are saying. Something that many Christians lack. They won't do apologetics. And then if they do it, they won't do it properly, because up in their heart and their mind is too much of this mess. The same mess masses use to go across the planet taking, which is shocking when you look throughout history and you see how many times the missionary arrives right before Massa do. I wonder why. To the beat and the tune of today, us explaining away what that is. See, again, the scripture tells you that if you are my people called by my name, that you will humble yourself. And what you're watching is people who are not okay. There was a TikTok video I saw, 2 ladies in the church videoing a homeless woman, pleading with them for help. Instead of that, they calling the cops to get her out of there, because she's either on the property, living in a car or something like that. Man, which Bible are y'all reading? I have to ask, and we know we don't already heard the excuses. So you know, some of them you can say, unless you come out with new ones. I'd be you know, I'd like to see some of these new ones. What are we doing? We done already heard from our Mormon brothers and sisters, and again, even other people groups. It's unfortunate to know that Jews were involved in slavery. Hey, how could you be involved in slavery? This is not anti-Semitic. This is on the books. How could you be involved in slavery when you yourselves were enslaved? To show the breakdown in people. And then what comes across is a nice apology. Don't you know they ain't gonna stand for no black business? How many artists, we're talking about Bad Bunny, how many artists who have had family, who have had music agents cut them out of money? This ain't all of them spending their money away. This ain't all of, no. The part where they were, come on, somebody. You know, when you talk about the story of Sarah Rector and the guardians that the so-called white person had to put over Sarah Rector, we're talking in Oklahoma. Y'all can look again on the books, on record, Sarah Rector, I don't want to say youngest, but richest colored woman, because of the oil they didn't know. See, again, we're watching the Trail of Tears now, and we pray for peace and protection for our brothers and sisters in Minnesota, or whether they're up in Oklahoma, wherever the attack is occurring. See, at some point, people just don't want to stand on their square. They're okay pushing down the voice of truth. Why? Because you are stuck next to Massa. When will you stand with your brothers and sisters, if you love them so much, for them to have their own stuff? Black wrestlers getting messed around with in WWE. Have your own stuff. It was cool to see in AEW them come right out and use certain terminology to let everybody in the arena know how they felt about what's going on in this country right now. And we applaud those brothers and sisters. Now maybe make that a little louder. Family, at some point you got to understand, overstand what is happening in the world around you. And you know it by looking at history. There's a book we talk about constantly on the podcast lately because it's impacted your boy. And as we continue to learn, like we have always said at the outset of making this podcast, that we will always talk about what we learn. We learn, family, and then we share. That's how it works. Blocking people from sharing what they learn is why we are in the mess we are in. You can find out every story Master want to tell you right about the time you start talking about the dark, brown, and tan skin tone people on this planet. Now we don't know nothing. It don't matter whether it's, again, Dr. Neely Fuller Jr. already let us know, and it's something you can just look with your own eyes, okay? That's how you know it's real. The different areas of activity where these fools have this thing sewed up. One of them is entertainment. So you gonna see, again, using Turning Point it was not made as a Christian organization. You know, for those who believe in Jesus, right? For those who hold on to this whole kind of thing. There is a point where we must use the sound mind that is spoken of in the scriptures, in the New Testament specifically, to divide against this ass backward stuff we're doing. To say it bluntly, man. What are we doing? We're okay regulating the woman, but the woman was, we talking about to go all the way back in the book, right in the first couple of chapters, right? And it's telling you the man can't do it alone. Yeah. Yo, we needed help. Never mind, man. You know, we have to buy into a narrative that is constantly conquering, dividing. Again, the way we say it on this podcast, whenever you deal with these fools, you are going to see three of the following. I added in a fourth one, but three of the following: division, destruction, and death. The fourth one's dysfunction. That's what you see when you deal with them. The dark brown, tan skin tone peoples of the group, you get around these fools, you're going to be fighting each other all day long. What I was referencing before was a TikTok video where a woman is talking about in the Latin community saying how the black folks were right. And my retort to this sister is this. One, and I shouted her out. One, thank you for your boldness. It's time we start. It's time, family. It's time to be honest. There's no healing that's going to occur if we are not honest. That's one. Two, understand that we have a unified, open enemy. The same attack. Today is Watakangi Day. Excuse me to my indigenous peoples of New Zealand, or as they said it, Aotearoa. 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 Aotearoa, if I'm saying it right. The Maori people. Some folks have seen on TikTok some stuff here where those people been back and forth with the British, because when they came through with their treaty back in the 1800s, family, if I'm not mistaken, it might be the 18 or 1700s. I think it was the 1800s. Just lying, cheating, and stealing. Way before Eddie Guerrero came around, family. Do you know the OG hustler is them? There ain't a brother on the block nowhere that can hustle like these fools. You understand? They'll tell you one thing. Yeah, we're going to give you a contract. We're going to give you a deal. You hear El Presidente talk this mess. I like doing that with our brother because, again, he got a problem. He got a problem with our Latin brothers and sisters. So we'll call him as the language that's been given to our people's family. You know, look at the names. You know, we even shared this struggle with the names, going around with 3 European names. But don't worry, when you look across the pond, as they say, or go a little far down south, wherever you might be, And you go into Central America and South America. Don't you know they rolling around with the names of the Spanish and the Portuguese that conquered their lands? What you think Rodriguez and all that is? Was that those native peoples? Was that the Mayans was that the Mayans in Central America? Was it the Incans in South America? Who is it? Don't let massa get you in this thing where you suffer alone. You don't suffer alone. We're suffering together. All around the world. All around the world. Australia, we're talking about right now. Watakangi Day, I think I'm saying it correctly, right? Which is a commemoration of this silly treaty that again, massa came in, wiggled the stuff out. Because then we go around as peaceful people. We ain't worried about none of this stuff. Do you know what the evolution? Because people have a problem with evolution. Do you know what the evolution? Change is all that's dealing with. Do you know what? I know people go further with it. That's fine. At the end, people, again, we like to argue too much. That's another one. How are we going to be able to come up? We keep arguing as much as we do. There's no way. There's no way. Again, discussions, we get that all day. These arguments, man, you see this stuff, man, we arguing all day. All day. We ain't talking the truth of a thing. We're arguing all day. Again, if you love your brother and sister, you stand with them. Support black business this month, family. Again, if you love your brother and sister, support them. We need each other. We play in this game like we don't. And if you're repentant about the things that have gone wrong, then it's time to put your brothers and sisters on in every area. Education is another one of them. It's shocking that Oklahoma is 50th. When you know about the history of Indian Territory, it's a damn shame they are 50th. But massa messed with education. He messed with entertainment. That's why there's certain body images, family. Don't you know this is why people have issues with body image or what they accept? We get on our brothers and sisters. Talk to me, brothers and sisters, one time. Let this soak down in your psyche. You looked at your Melanesian brother and sister? No. Have you looked at them? Okay. Now you seen that blonde hair, right? Okay. Why do we keep basing the argument off of, we're talking about get your mind on your own people and you won't. Why is it everything we're chasing the so-called white woman with blonde hair when you already know there's a variation in our own planet where there are dark brown people who have blonde hair? Why are we doing that? I'll tell you why. Massa gives you the caricature that, hey, you got to chase after this. This is the black doll test that was done way back in the day, right? What looks right? What is acceptable? What is acceptable is any and everything under this good earth and sky that has been made and the water that has been made. Family, y'all look up a fish, right? I was in the aquarium with the missus about a month ago, right? PACU. This fish is either found in Central America or is found in South America. Don't you know that thing got teeth like a human? This ain't no, but before people start going in that weird space in their mind, this has got nothing to do with like some conspiracy or conjecture or somebody's experimenting on some fish. Family, we talking about, that's how it is. Just like people get mad about clothes. Oh, they ain't wearing enough clothes. Family, anywhere you went up and down the Americas, see, again, people getting mad because folks are using their American language. No, I didn't say English. I said their American language. Again, we know America. That's not how the natives, that's not how the aboriginals of the Americas spoke about America. That's something that Europeans put on this word here that we say America. Same thing, you got to differentiate from the United States and America. That's why they say United States of America. To make this thing look legit, you have to mix two things. Same thing we just finished talking about with interracial relationships. If you love somebody, family, you differentiate between all the things that make your relationship beautiful, which includes the culture by which folks come from. I ain't putting that down for love. Love would be to elevate that, wouldn't it? Of course it would. Only us can put each other on, family. We're waiting for somebody else to do it, and it ain't gonna work. We spend money with our people and we spend money with them. That's how this works. And we make sure we spend it more with us than we do with them. Every other culture you ever look at is doing that. Every one of them. Nothing is wrong with that. Yeah, somebody came to certain people groups to tell them, hey, no. You in hate. I'm in hate because I'm telling our brothers and sisters to watch out for each other. You ever look at the DAP, all these handshakes we do? When you go back into the 70s, talking about these protests with these kids, and shout out the youth one time, man. At some point, ain't you gonna stand on your square when you see wrong is wrong? Of course you are. So they're doing the natural reaction. Unfortunately, people, groups from a different generation that are affected by generations before them. So again, when we get on the boomer, you just make sure that the silent generation get that same treatment. See, the 20s and the 30s births, the 40s and the 50s to the 60s and the 70s and so on, and before that. But when the more we do study on things, the more we keep finding this out. Not listening to what these fools is telling you. They will always tell you something to make sure it go back to the money in their pocket, to the health care for them. Shout out to Anarcha Westcott one time. That dear sister operated on by these fools so that you could provide the better health care for pregnant women who are so-called white. Family, understand they want us divided. They want to keep us that way because that's the easiest way to keep us subjected. Submissive. Since people got an issue with this whole thing, submissive. Women got to be, what is that? No, we got to be teammates. As a matter of fact, for the Christian who gonna get up in their bag or his bag, because normally this is male based. So much so that when a man speak out against it, you gonna call that man not a man. Again, same similar kind of stuff that Anton Daniels and Corey Holcomb was getting in a fight over. That they could have unalived themselves, family, because of this. What are we doing? Stay away from people like that, family. If they ain't even in your circle, there's no reason to even be talking to them. Not because people aren't valid and shouldn't be talked to, but because you know the differences are going to cause division, not unification. Certain people just got certain stuff in their mind, and it is what it is. Again, get around and elevate, accept, believe in those that rock with you. Birds of a feather flock together, family. It's time to be okay. You know, that massive work this thing on your, a game on your mind that you're not okay being around folks like yourself. Be okay being around people like you. Not just in the skin tone, we're talking about up in the mind as well. Right? That's what we're going to stop it, family. That's what we're going to stop it, man. That's a good place to stop it. Family, thank you for walking this road with me today, family. I love y'all. We are never, ever talking down to anybody. Anytime I do a live, anytime I do a podcast, none of that. We are not talking down to each other, family. What this is a warning. And you look through history and already seen it. It's the opportunity to speak the truth, family. To warn people what's coming. Massa never loves you. Man. Massa will always seek to provide for you captivity, corruption. Shout out our Muslim brothers and sisters one time. And disproportion. That's what they're going to give you. That's what they will provide for you. So while we keep going back and forth over what Massa gonna give us, or whichever one of these presidents gonna give us, know that it will never be enough to equal. See, again, when you deal on the other side of corruption, captivity, and disproportion, there is freedom, justice, and equality. Things that are fair and equal in all things, family. When you deal with them, there is nothing that is equal. You will always be on the, we just seen it last year with the removal of DEI, family. What do you think that was all about? Colleges the year before that. with affirmative action. What do you think that's all about, family? You think it's random? With massa, let me say it again as we hear it to close, right? Because we've been on for a minute. Cap, with them you will always find, always, throughout history, it doesn't matter where, because this is who they are. This is what they've chosen to be. Let me say it that way. Captivity, corruption, and disproportion. And the opposite side will always be freedom, justice. You know, police brutality's been low lately. So maybe that's why this ICE thing is the way it is. You got to have a good slave catcher. Freedom, justice, and equality. Family, y'all tune in because we already know how they're going to do the Super Bowl. Listen, y'all tune in. Don't buy into this mess they're talking about. Support your brothers and sisters, whether they speak the same language as you or not. That's the point. Put on the SAP button on your put the SAP button on your TV, right? Turn on the captions, make sure it's on English or whatever it is, right? You know what I'm saying? Get your Google Translate ready, family. We're just saying what it is. Hey, you got an opportunity to learn some Spanish in real time. You got an opportunity to learn Spanish in real time, man. Again, accept other cultures, family. It ain't just this one here. Most of the mess they gave us here is mess anyway. Again, you walking around with their names, streets named after their own, then we get real happy when there's a Malcolm X Boulevard and a Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Avenue. Family, while that part is necessary, don't get me wrong, that part is necessary. But that's like, that's chump change. You know what I'm saying? That's chump change. It's hard for us to accept some of these things, right? But it's something we must, because it's how they're playing on us. We don't want two street names, y'all, walking around with the states are named after names that the natives on these lands didn't even call it. Talking about Minnesota. Minnesota ain't Minnesota. Minnesota has a different name. All these lands have a different name. Alabama is Ali Bamu. Right? Since we had that Montgomery brawl a couple of years ago. Shout out to Nathaniel Alexander. Speaking on Black history, that's the brother that made the folding chair. And no, we do not. Listen very clearly, because again, Massa likes hiding behind things. We're not promoting violence, family. When you look at that word violence, it means passion just the same as it means physical attack. We are passionate about protecting ourselves. And before you get mad at the fact that after a brawl breaks out, a woman got hit with a steel chair, which again, we do not promote any type of intimate partner violence, none of that. But maybe you need to talk to the dudes who were disrespectful to that boat security guard there trying to get y'all to port properly instead of acting like fools. And then none of that would have happened. And maybe if Europe had stayed the hell over in Europe and not used the excuse of science and trade routes, exploration, then maybe we wouldn't have none of this unnecessary violence and upheaval that you've seen in history. If they had have accepted the Californian Indian and not looked at them as primitive and ugly, accepted them for what they were, we would have never had any issues not knowing which people groups were here on these lands. They look very close to us because they describe them as dark mahogany and dark chocolate, family. This is again on the books. We're not telling you anything that's conjecture. And if men and women have more respect for each other and start apologizing and forgiving each other and walking in the light and the energy of healing, we'll have less relationship dysfunctions and easier forms of interaction with each other, right? Family, that's what I got for y'all today. Thank you for walking this road with me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We will talk to you soon, right? Your boy ain't going nowhere, right? Right? Lest the good Lord say so, right? As they say, right? We ain't going nowhere, right? So thank you, family, for walking this road with me. And as always, and until next time, look to find the beauty in a different view.